Welcome to our deep dive into the world of forbidden technologies. These are the innovations that, while groundbreaking, pose significant ethical, safety, or geopolitical risks. These risks have led society, often through international consensus or stark warnings from the scientific community, to declare them, for now, off-limits or severely restricted. It's a fascinating intersection where human ingenuity brushes against the very fabric of our moral codes and our instinct for self-preservation. We're talking about creations that could reshape our world, our very definition of humanity, or in the wrong hands, threaten our existence. The allure of such power is undeniable, but the wisdom to wield it, or indeed to refrain from wielding it, is a testament to our evolving understanding of responsibility on a planetary scale. Throughout history, humanity has constantly pushed the boundaries of what's possible. From the first controlled fire to the splitting of the atom, our curiosity and drive to innovate have been relentless. Yet with each leap forward, we've also encountered unforeseen consequences, new dilemmas that challenge our existing frameworks. These forbidden technologies represent the current frontier of that challenge. They are not just abstract scientific concepts, they are tangible possibilities that force us to ask profound questions. Just because we can do something, should we? And who gets to decide where the line is drawn? The debates surrounding these innovations are complex, involving scientists, ethicists, policymakers, and indeed all of us who share this planet. In this journey, we'll explore 5 such technologies that hover in this precarious space between revolutionary potential and existential threat. We'll delve into why they are considered forbidden or heavily regulated, examining the science behind them, the historical context that shaped their current status, and the ongoing discussions about their future. Prepare to have your understanding of progress challenged as we unpack the complexities of innovations that could redefine life as we know it, for better or for worse. It's a cosmic tightrope walk, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Imagine a battlefield of the near future, where decisions to take a human life are not made by a soldier in the heat of the moment, nor by a remote operator miles away, but by an algorithm, a complex piece of software embedded within a machine. This is the realm of lethal autonomous weapons systems, or LAWs, often chillingly dubbed killer robots. These aren't your science fiction automatons with grudges. They are sophisticated AI-driven platforms capable of independently searching for, identifying, selecting, and engaging targets without direct human intervention. The speed of computation allows them to operate at timescales far beyond human capability, potentially revolutionizing warfare, but also raising profound moral alarms. The technology is advancing with breathtaking speed, fueled by breakthroughs in machine learning and robotics, forcing us to confront uncomfortable questions about the future of conflict. The core ethical dilemma with autonomous weapons lies in the delegation of lethal decision-making to a non-human entity. Can an algorithm truly comprehend the value of human life, or distinguish between a combatant and a civilian with the nuance and contextual understanding that, at least in principle, human soldiers are trained for? Who bears responsibility when such a weapon makes an error, leading to unlawful killings or collateral damage? Is it the programmer who wrote the initial code, the manufacturer who built the device, the military commander who deployed it, or is responsibility so diffused that it effectively vanishes? This accountability gap is a central concern in international discussions, alongside fears of an uncontrollable AI arms race, where nations rush to develop ever more sophisticated and unpredictable autonomous killing machines, potentially lowering the threshold for armed conflict. Consequently, there's a significant global movement pushing for a ban or strict regulation on LAWs. The Campaign to Stop Killer Robots, a coalition of NGOs, has been vocal in advocating for meaningful human control over the use of force. While no comprehensive international treaty specifically banning all autonomous weapons yet exists, discussions under the UN's Convention on Certain Conventional Weapons have been ongoing for years. Some nations advocate for a preemptive ban, arguing that once these weapons are developed and proliferated, it will be too late to control them. Others, however, are more hesitant, citing potential military advantages or the difficulty in defining autonomy precisely. The debate continues, a stark reminder of how rapidly technology can outpace our ethical and legal frameworks, leaving us scrambling to manage its implications. we now turn our gaze inward to the very blueprint of life, our DNA. Human genetic engineering, specifically germline editing, holds the breathtaking promise of eradicating inherited diseases before they even begin. Imagine a future where conditions like cystic fibrosis, Huntington's disease, or sickle cell anemia are relics of the past, edited out of the human gene pool. Germline modification involves altering the DNA of sperm, eggs, or embryos. Crucially, these changes are heritable, meaning they would be passed down through generations, fundamentally and permanently altering the genetic makeup of future human beings. Tools like CRISPR-Cas9 have made this process more precise and accessible than ever before, transforming a theoretical possibility into a tangible and deeply controversial reality. The Pandora's box of germline editing was flung open dramatically in 2018 with the CRISPR babies scandal. Chinese scientist He Jiankui announced he had created the world's first gene-edited twin girls, claiming to have made them resistant to HIV. This act, conducted in secrecy and without broad ethical consensus or robust safety data, sent shockwaves through the global scientific community. It crystallized fears about designer babies. The prospect of using gene editing not just for therapeutic purposes, but for enhancement, selecting for traits like intelligence, athleticism, or appearance. Such capabilities could exacerbate social inequalities, creating a genetic divide between the edited haves and the unedited have-nots, and the long-term consequences of altering the human genome in such a fundamental way are largely unknown and potentially irreversible. In the aftermath of the He Jiankui affair, there was widespread condemnation, and most countries have now explicitly banned or heavily restricted reproductive germline editing. The scientific consensus is that at present, the risks outweigh the potential benefits for heritable human genome editing, given concerns about safety, efficacy, and the societal implications. However, research on somatic gene editing, which affects only the individual patient and is not heritable, continues for therapeutic purposes. The debate rages on where should the line be drawn. Is it possible to harness the immense therapeutic potential of this technology while preventing its misuse? The challenge lies in establishing robust global governance and ethical guidelines for a technology that touches the very essence of what it means to be human, ensuring that our power to rewrite life is wielded with profound wisdom and humility. Chapter 3. The Spectre of Silent Killers, Chemical and Biological Weapons. Few technological developments inspire such visceral dread as chemical and biological weapons. These are not instruments of precise targeted force, they are agents of mass destruction, often invisible, indiscriminate, and capable of inflicting unimaginable suffering. Chemical weapons utilize toxic properties of chemical substances to cause death or harm, ranging from blistering agents like mustard gas used with horrific effect in World War I, to nerve agents like sarin, which can kill in minutes. Biological weapons, on the other hand, deploy pathogenic organisms, bacteria like anthrax, viruses like smallpox, or toxins like botulinum, to intentionally cause disease or death in humans, animals, or plants. Their potential for devastation, coupled with their relative ease of concealment and the terror they inspire, places them firmly in the forbidden category for civilized warfare. The horrors witnessed in past conflicts where such weapons were used, notably the widespread use of chemical agents in the First World War and later incidents, spurred the international community to act. This led to the establishment of crucial international treaties. The 1925 Geneva Protocol prohibited the use of asphyxiating, poisonous or other gases, and of bacteriological methods of warfare, but it didn't ban production or stockpiling. This gap was later addressed by the Biological Weapons Convention of 1972, which comprehensively prohibits the development, production, acquisition, transfer, stockpiling, and use of biological and toxin weapons. Similarly, the Chemical Weapons Convention of 1997 outlaws the production, stockpiling, and use of chemical weapons and their precursors, and mandates the destruction of all existing stockpiles, overseen by the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons. Despite these robust international prohibitions, the threat of chemical and biological weapons has not been entirely eradicated. verification of compliance with the BWC, for instance, is notoriously difficult due to the dual-use nature of many biotechnologies and facilities. Research for vaccines can look very similar to research for bioweapons. The CWC has stronger verification mechanisms, but challenges remain, including the potential for undeclared stockpiles or use by non-state actors or rogue states who don't adhere to international norms. The ongoing civil war in Syria, with documented uses of chemical weapons, serves as a grim reminder that these forbidden technologies can resurface, demanding constant vigilance, robust international cooperation, and a steadfast commitment to upholding the global norms against their very existence. The psychological scar they leave is as potent as their physical devastation. Chapter 4: The Double-Edged Atom, Nuclear Weapons, and the Quest for Control. We now confront the most awesomely destructive power ever harnessed by humankind: nuclear weapons technology. Born from the insights of ESA MC2, these devices release unimaginable energy from atomic nuclei, either through fission, splitting heavy atoms like uranium or plutonium, or fusion, combining light atoms like hydrogen isotopes. The resulting explosions can obliterate entire cities in an instant, causing catastrophic loss of life, long-term environmental devastation through radioactive fallout, and potentially triggering a nuclear winter that could threaten global civilization. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1945 provided a horrifying demonstration of this power, forever etching the mushroom cloud into our collective consciousness as a symbol of existential threat. The sheer scale of destruction sets these weapons apart from all others. The profound danger posed by nuclear weapons led to concerted international efforts to control their spread, primarily through the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, which entered into force in 1970. The NPT is built on three main pillars: preventing the spread of nuclear weapons and weapons technology, promoting cooperation in the peaceful uses of nuclear energy, and furthering the goal of achieving nuclear disarmament and general and complete disarmament. While the NPT has been largely successful in limiting the number of states possessing nuclear weapons, the nuclear club currently consists of the United States, Russia, United Kingdom, France, China, India, Pakistan, North Korea, and likely Israel. It hasn't stopped proliferation entirely, nor has it achieved full disarmament among the existing nuclear powers. The continued existence of thousands of nuclear warheads, even under treaties like New START between the US and Russia, though its future is uncertain, maintains a precarious global balance often described by the chilling doctrine of mutually assured destruction. This doctrine posits that a full-scale use of nuclear weapons by two or more opposing sides would cause the complete annihilation of both the attacker and the defender. While MAD may have prevented large-scale wars between major powers during the Cold War, the risks of accidental war, miscalculation, escalation from conventional conflict, or acquisition by rogue states or terrorist groups remain terrifyingly real. The humanitarian consequences of any nuclear detonation are so catastrophic that the complete elimination of these weapons remains a paramount, if elusive, goal for global security. Chapter 5: The Invisible War Stuxnet and the Dawn of Advanced Cyber Weaponry. In the 21st century, a new domain of conflict has emerged, fought not with bullets and bombs, but with bits and bytes, cyber warfare. And within this domain, advanced cyber warfare tools represent a particularly insidious and potentially devastating forbidden technology. These aren't your everyday computer viruses or ransomware. These are highly sophisticated pieces of malware, often state-sponsored, designed to infiltrate, disrupt, or destroy critical infrastructure. The very systems that underpin modern society, such as power grids, financial networks, transportation systems, and even military command and control. The infamous Stuxnet worm, discovered in 2010, was a watershed moment, revealing the tangible, physical damage that a cyber weapon could inflict by targeting Iranian nuclear centrifuges. One of the most challenging aspects of cyber warfare is attribution. Unlike a missile launch, a sophisticated cyber attack can be notoriously difficult to trace back to its source with certainty. Attackers can use proxies, false flags, and complex obfuscation techniques, making it hard to distinguish between state actors, cyber criminals, or even ideologically motivated hacktivists. This ambiguity complicates diplomatic responses and the application of international law. There are no universally agreed upon rules of engagement for cyber conflict, comparable to the Geneva Conventions for traditional warfare. While concepts like the Tallinn Manual attempt to apply existing international law to cyberspace, enforcement and consensus remain elusive, leading to a dangerous Wild West environment where escalation is a constant risk. The potential consequences of a large-scale cyber attack on critical infrastructure are immense. Imagine a coordinated assault that takes down a nation's power grid in the dead of winter, cripples its financial markets, or compromises the safety systems of its industrial plants. The economic disruption could be staggering, and the loss of essential services could lead to widespread chaos and even loss of life. This has led to a quiet but intense cyber arms race, as nations develop both offensive and defensive capabilities. While some international norms are slowly emerging against attacking civilian infrastructure, the covert nature of these weapons and the constant evolution of technology make this a uniquely challenging domain to regulate, a truly forbidden frontier where the lines between espionage, sabotage, and outright warfare are increasingly blurred. Otro charting a conscious course humanity's technological future. These technologies, while potentially transformative, highlight the delicate balance between innovation and ethical responsibility. From AI that could make life or death decisions to tools that can rewrite our very genetic code, or weapons that threaten global annihilation through atoms or algorithms, each carries a profound weight. The forbidden or heavily restricted status of these innovations isn't born from a fear of progress itself, but from a deep-seated, often hard-won understanding of the potential for misuse, unintended consequences, and the irreversible alteration of our world or our humanity. Is a societal immune response, an attempt to process and manage powers that, in some cases, verge on the godlike. As we stand at this complex juncture of unprecedented technological capability, the path forward requires more than just scientific brilliance. It demands collective wisdom, foresight, and a robust ethical compass. The conversations around these technologies cannot be confined to laboratories or secretive government chambers. They must be part of a broader public discourse. Understanding the science, the history, and the ethical implications is crucial for every citizen, because the choices we make or fail to make today will shape the realities of tomorrow. The future isn't something that just happens to us, it's something we build, or perhaps something we consciously choose not to build, at least in certain ways. Our journey through these 5 forbidden domains underscores a vital truth. With great power comes an even greater need for scrutiny, for dialogue, and for a shared commitment to the well-being of humanity and the planet. The allure of the unknown will always beckon, and our curiosity is a fundamental part of who we are. So, stay curious, but always consider the broader implications. Think critically, engage thoughtfully, and help ensure that our technological trajectory bends towards a future we can all embrace. Thanks for watching.